Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back. My name is Kimiko Sumi, and today I want to do a little video of a little story about when I first started to wear wigs and makeup. And yeah, I know I'm laying in the bed right now because I'm kind of relaxing or whatever before I say my evening prayers. But I did want to come in with a little story time, just a little short one of when I first started to wear wigs and makeup. I started wearing makeup at 14 years old, and it was because I originally got a black eye. Somebody had hit me in my eye, and I was trying to cover it up before I had to go back to school at 14 years old. And so I was trying to figure out a way, how can I disguise this black eye? Actually, I had two. I had like well, no, I had one and then but no, okay. I had two that same year from two different people. But the second one I was trying to hide the black eye for when I went to school in Oak Cliff, Texas, because the school that I went to, I was going to an alternative school, and those kids were really, they really weren't shy about saying how they felt or calling somebody out about a flaw or two, like a flaw if they have a flaws, if they had flaws, and they were really judgmental and they could be very mean. So I had to think quick, y'all. I had to think quick. So I decided to go into my mom's bathroom, and my mom had Revlon Color Stay. That's when the bottle, they didn't have the pump and you had to pour it out. You remember that, y'all? Yeah, so her color was shade cappuccino. And so I remember I was putting it on my eye, and then I was putting it on my face. And I was like, wow, this really transformed me. This makeup, I mean, I didn't expect to look any different from what I normally looked. I just wanted to cover up my eye. But I was like, wow, this makeup, it kind of transformed me a little bit now. Like, I really started to look at myself in kind of a different way. Like, I was like, wow, I'm actually kind of pretty a little bit, because for most of my life, before I was 14 years old, well, it started around 9 to 14 years old. I didn't think I was that pretty because people would always tell me, "Oh, you're ugly," and they would pick on me about how I look. And my skin was pretty bad. It had scars already and from acne and stuff. So when I got that black eye and I put on that makeup and I started to see myself, I was like, "Wow, I didn't know I could look like this." I forgot what I looked like as I was growing up, and I forgot how I used to get complimented all the time on my beauty growing up before the age of like 9 years old. But I was like shocked. And then when I finally started to wear it outside, like when I finally decided to go to school with it on, like to mask the black eye, to mask the black eye that I had, people were saying, "Oh my goodness, you're pretty." And I had never had that experience before. I had finally started to attract guys. I mean, of all ages. And y'all, I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but I was attracting all types of men. And for the first time in my life, I felt wanted. And like the makeup really, really just the makeup made me. The Mac made, okay? Like TLC Unpretty, the Mac did make. Okay, so that's when I discovered that I had the potentiality to be actually attractive. But I thought it was just the makeup. I honestly just thought it was just the makeup, and that underneath it I was never supposed to be attractive and whatnot. And then I noticed that when I would go to school, because I wasn't that great at makeup at first. Like I would put a lot of eyeshadow on and different things, and the kids at school, like in my grade, like the older guys, the guys that were in high school, and like of course just older men, they would be always complimenting me, wanting to date me and stuff. But the guys my age, and then the girls and the guys my age, they will always put me down. They will always insult me. They would talk about how I would wear so much makeup. They would always ask. I would always get into arguments about my makeup, and it would just always be like a challenge for people. Well, it lasted from about 14 years old to 15 years old when I was making wearing makeup, and it was always a vicious cycle of always getting teased for my makeup. People making fun of my makeup. But see, the thing is that the guys that I actually liked that were older, like in high school and stuff, that were like in older grades, and I know shouldn't have been talking to older guys and stuff, but those are the ones I liked, and I've always liked older men anyway. But those were the guys that I liked, and they never had a problem with the way I looked, and it was always the people that was my age that would throw a fit and call me names and pick fights with me, and I would always have to go to the principal's office. So I guess finally, at about 15 years old, it only took 1 year. Yeah, it was only weird 1 year, y'all. It was only 1 year, and I decided to stop wearing makeup um, because I was getting bullied so much at school behind it. So I didn't want to cause too much attention to myself anymore. So I just stopped wearing makeup, and it went right back to where it used to be before I wore makeup, where they were still teasing me, but then they started back saying, "Oh, you're ugly," and because I had scars, I had very bad acne scars, and I still struggle with my skin to this day, y'all. But that was just something that I went back to. That was my back to reality moment after my short time wearing makeup. And you know what? Right around that time, that's when I started actually wearing wigs too, y'all, like 14 years old. And the reason why I started wearing wigs, like I always tell people, is because I saw Lil Kim, the jump off, with her CD, remember La Bella Mafia? Yeah. So I saw her in the jump off video with her bangs, her black wig with the bangs, and it was long. I said, "Oh, I want to get that." Remember, this is around the time when I first started wearing makeup. I started wearing wigs after I started wearing makeup. And I remember during the summertime, after I saw that video, I was like, I gotta get that wig. I gotta get a wig like that. So I went to the beauty supply store around where I live, called GG Beauty Supply Store. Well, actually, it was in my old neighborhood because we had moved, and it was called GG Beauty Supply Store. And I saw a wig that was just like Lil Kim's wig in the jump off video, and I remember it was $49.99, but it was $54.11 with taxes, y'all. So I put a little money down, and at the time they would let you do layaway. So I put it on layaway, and y'all, I tried to hustle that whole summer to try to get that wig off layaway. But you know what? Right before it was time for me to go back to school the following year, my mama said, "You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and pay for you to get it off layaway." So I got that wig, and I just thought I was just the shit. I thought I no, you couldn't tell me nothing. I had my little Kim wig on with the bangs. I had my makeup on, and I mean, that's basically my experience, y'all, of when I first started wearing makeup, and putting on wigs and just loving like fashion, period. That's when I really wanted to start to doll myself up, and I got into that. And one thing about it though, I started off being, really bad at doing makeup and doing my hair, but I have improved. I'm not the best, still not the best, y'all, beyond the best, but I think I do a pretty good job. Oh yeah, by the way, y'all, if you see me moving and stuff, I'm over here kind of like rubbing my feet together. You know how you do when you under the blankets and stuff. But yeah, I just want to share that with y'all, my little story time, and I hope you like my video. So like, subscribe, share my video, hit the notification bell, comment if you like, and I'll see y'all in another video, my lotus flowers. Peace. I'm out. Bye bye.